Hey folks, Slothalapolis here with the Average Gamer Guys, coming back with some more Halo Wars 2 content. A surprisingly substantial amount of Halo Wars 2 data that has now been changed, updated, implemented, all that stuff. So we all know that Yapyap is out. Right after Yapyap came out, there was also quite a bit of tweaking that Creative Assembly has applied to this game. It really seems like they are pushing to really get this game in the most competitive state it can be by the time Awakening the Nightmare comes out, because we have all the DLC that we were promised for the season pass. So it kind of seems like this game is ending its set time for it, at the very least, scheduled update and scheduled support. So it seems like this game's gonna kind of be what it's gonna be here very shortly, and it seems like Creative Assembly is putting a lot of effort into making that game uh, as competitive as it can be, which is a fantastic idea. I would have liked to see that maybe 4 months ago. It's not that it's a bad idea. It's maybe just a little too late. I fear that we've lost a lot of people in the community, but you haven't lost us, so we're here, so that's something. We're not good at this game, but still, it is what it is. So we'll show here. Serena's ice barrier got a pretty good nerf here with not being able to chill or freeze structures, just being able to plop them down next to bases. Tundra Bice's got the cryo mortar splash damage. The splash radius is decreased by a full third, which is pretty substantial. Cryo Blast is seeing decreased damage, decreased radius, and increased cost. Seismic Charge has the shatter radius decreased by a quarter. All that stuff is really going to help bring Serena to a point where she's not so OP. Because right now the biggest leaders we have seen is Forge and Serena, and we'll get to Forge here in just a second, I promise. So the big thing here with Serena just kind of having a little bit of nerf to some of her really good units and abilities, that's really going to help, especially with the implementation of Yap. There's so many units, there's so many little cannon fodder guys you can run around. It's difficult to freeze all of them, and it's difficult to kill all of them once they're frozen. Buys you time, and this little gameplay that I got playing over is just some battle testing and seeing if I can apply some early pressure so that I can really have the advantage here late game. So hopefully that will all kind of play out well for us. But the the big thing here, I think, is just having Serena come back down to earth just a little bit. The freezing ability is just incredibly frustrating when you're on the other end of it, and it was just kind of taking things over. So the other thing that I'll show here is the banished shield generators are now they're increasing in cost as they go, much like the power extractors do. So there's just a little bit of escalation there. So not a huge deal, but I got it in there anyway, so I thought I'd see that. The next big set of things we're going to see are all of the Yayap changes and updates. So Yayap was put out and then immediately kind of balanced. I won't say immediately nerfed, but just some things kind of changed. So the hustle cooldown had a pretty good increase, almost doubled the increase on the cooldown for the hustle ability. Cannon fodders now take 1 full second longer to create, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're pumping out 40 of those guys, that helps. That kind of helps slow that stuff down. The leader powers were kind of changed around. Grunts from above drop. It drops an extra heavy grunt and brute rider, and the cost was updated a little bit. And it also changed the level 2 of that. Also, grunt rider cost reduced a little bit. The grunt rider ram DPS is changed up to 30. Max increased by 67. So that's pretty good. That kind of RNG will play into that a lot there. Um, all that stuff is kind of neat. It's little things that I think help keep this into a viable leader. There's so many things you can do with Yayap that he needs to be kind of a utility type leader, but he also needs to be pretty balanced with that stuff because you can build such an army so quickly. The two biggest things with all of this, I think, we've already seen Serena, but now we see Forge. The Anvil round cooldown time on Forge was changed from 45 seconds to 70 seconds. That is helpful because that Anvil round just tore up armies, and it is substantial. So hopefully bringing Forge down a little bit more to earth here, bringing Serena down a little bit. I think we're about on a level playing field or relatively close to it with a lot of the leaders in general. And now that the leaders in general are kind of on the same playing field. Now we need to look at scouts, because anybody knows, if you've ever played an RTS, that scout rushes cannot be the by far and away most effective thing out there, because that's all you're ever going to see. And I think that really hampered Halo Wars 1 for a long time too. So we see here scout units, chopper DPS increased, Jackrabbit DPS decreased. There's a lot of words, and I don't read well. Jackrabbits were nerfed pretty substantially. So their DPS was decreased by 6%, their population was increased by 1, and their build time was bumped up a little bit. So it seems like Chopper and Ghost are going to continue to rule a little bit, and the Jackrabbit was brought down a little bit more to Earth, which does make sense since we have the Warthog not too far behind the Jackrabbit, and I think we have better vehicle killing options on the UNSC, in my humble opinion, with the Cyclops and being able to pump those out. I do usually favor those over the hunters on the banished side. So quite a few different changes being made here. Actually, a lot of movement in the Halo world period. Halo 5's getting a weapon uh, balancing update going on right now as well. So there's a lot of movement in Halo. I do appreciate that Creative Assembly is really pushing a lot of these things, and I think a lot of these changes are really going to help. My thing is it too little too late? That is my concern. I'm a little worried about that. So hopefully that is not the case, but we're kind of prepping here for Awakening the Nightmare and the last bit of DLC that we know of that this game is going to have, and hopefully it's enough to keep the community running strong. So please do let us know what you think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe if you do so choose, all of that stuff. If you'd like me to be able to speak better, that's totally acceptable. I'm really bad. I don't know what I'm doing today. So I really do appreciate you guys seeing. We'd love to hear what you all think down in the comments about all of the changes and stuff that's been made, and the timing of them, and as well as all of the Waking the Nightmare hype that's kind of going to start building up at this point now. For Doc, I am Sloth. We are the Average Gamer guys. I do appreciate you, and I will see you next time.